Changing the oil in a 2015 Sea Doo GTX 260. You need this little pump right here to pump all the old oil out. And a word to the wise: take your oil cap off, or go ahead and take the filter out before you begin to pump your oil out. Otherwise, this tube fits very tightly in this tube, and you'll create a suction, and it's extremely hard to suck the oil out. If you take the oil cap off, it relieves the suction. See how easy the oil comes out. When you're not trying to pump the inside of the engine together. So you pump the oil out. I'm usually getting about 3 quarts out of it. Just under 3 quarts. So you don't want to put any more oil back in than you can pump out. I usually pump it from the dipstick first, and then I go into the oil fill hole and pump out what's left, but usually I don't get any from the fill hole. Okay, with the oil pumped out, you want to get right down there to the oil filter. You can see it has the external Torx bolt. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's kind of hard to see. Just take that bolt out of the center of it, and you pull the lid and the filter cartridge out. This is what the old cartridge looks like. Rotax. You want to put oil on that cartridge and put oil on these O-rings. There's 2 O-rings. There's a real skinny one and then one that's a little bit fatter, just a little bit thicker on the thicker O-ring goes in the number 2 position. The thin O-ring goes all the way to the top of the oil filter housing. I've already got my spark plugs out, but basically you break them loose. And if you don't have a magnetic socket, you just get your coil, stick down on them like that, screw them the rest of the way out, and pull the spark plugs out like that with the coil. Same way going in, you don't want to drop them. Put the spark plug in the coil, gently tighten the plug down, and then when you finish tightening all the spark plugs, you can return all the ignition coils to their positions. Make sure you put that jelly grease on top of them, like Sea Doo did, to keep the water and the moisture, condensation mainly, you're keeping out. That'll protect the coils. Make sure that all the coils are pushed down firmly. By the way, the new spark plugs come with the tips screwed on them. Don't forget to screw the tips off before you put the plugs in. Otherwise, you got to take them back out to get the coils to seat. You got to push down pretty good on these coils to get them to seat. But push down right in the center. Otherwise it'll break the ear off. When you think they're down, they're not. Put the palm of your hand on them. Push right in the center of each one of them. until they're fully seated. That's important because this is a watercraft. Listen for that click on each one of them. Go back one more time. Make sure they're fully seated. When you fill the oil, check it real close after you've run the engine. You hook the water hose up to it before you do the run test to make sure you don't overheat anything. But just run it for about 15 seconds, shut it off, let it sit for a few minutes, pull your dipstick. If the oil's right to the top of the dipstick, you need to suck a little bit out. It needs room for expansion on this supercharged engine. It's not a good thing to have it over full because it's going to get out there and get hot and the oil's going to expand and it's going to try to blow it out somewhere. So you're always better to have it about 3/4 of the way up, maybe even mid-range, depending on the temperature. That way when it's fully warm, it'll go on up to the full mark, but not over full. By the way, this is the oil